Man, I'd love to be taking delivery of a Porsche 992 GT3 right about now, but unfortunately, that is not the case, and I'm probably going to have to wait a little bit to make that happen. But at the same time, when it does happen, it's probably going to be very, very, very expensive because Porsche warns of significant price increases planned for 2024 model year cars. In addition, the Macan 718 and Cayenne EVs will be about 15% costlier than the ICE models. And that's just to buy them, folks. Charging them is going to be a whole nother story, but we can get into that a little bit later. Now, according to Adrian Padena on Motor1.com, the cheapest Porsche money can buy in the United States right now is the base Macan at $57,500, while the most expensive of the lot is the 911 Sport Classic at an eye-watering $272,300. Price hikes across the board are coming soon as part of a plan to further boost profits. During a call with analysts, the head of finance, Lutz Meski, said significant price increases, quote unquote, are planned to come into effect in mid 2023 for the 2024 model year. He went on to specify the next generation Macan coming next year, exclusively in EV form, will command a 10 to 15% premium over the current model. It's worth noting the combustion engined crossover will peacefully coexist with the electric model for a few years before Porsche is going to retire the gasoline fuel variants. Lutz Misk also said the 718 electric replacements due around 2025 will also be up to 15% more expensive. The zero emission Boxster and Cayman will replace the ICE models from day one. The recently announced Cayenne EV, planned for the SUV's fourth generation, due most likely in 2026, will also be 10 to 15% more expensive and is going to be sold together with the gasoline and plug in hybrid variants for the upcoming facelifted third gen model. An even more expensive SUV is earmarked for a 2027 release at the earliest, when a three-row electric-only model will slot above the Cayenne. Is Porsche concerned jacking up prices will alienate people? Not at all. Miski explained, quote unquote, we have a very good foundation with a very strong brand and a very strong customer base that gives us the power to increase prices in very challenging times and in an intelligent manner. And the sales figures back up his statement as Porsche beat the odds in a challenging 2022 and sold 309,884 vehicles, or 2.6% more than the year before. And this is also including the tragedy of the burning Felicity Ace. Now, more special editions are planned as the German luxury brand has realized there is a strong appetite for limited run cars, which is why the Sounderwish Special Request program will be expanded. We'd argue the only thing missing from Porsche's lineup is a new hypercar, but a 918 Spider successor isn't coming anytime soon. Zuffenhausen Marquis has said a hypercar is always a part of Porsche's strategy, and a new one will arrive only when it's time to bring it. According to Chairman Oliver Bloom, it definitely won't happen before 2025. Now, the hypercar is kind of strange, if you ask me, in my opinion, because almost all of these vehicles now, especially with a lot of them going EV moving forward, are going to have capabilities of hitting 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. So, how much more hyper can you get besides that? Or just making it so that it's uncomfortable to drive the vehicle in normal day to day situations, and therefore people are only going to buy these cars to never drive them, park them in a museum somewhere, or even sit them in Porsche's showroom and never actually drive them. There's a Porsche dealership in Atlanta, and one of their customers actually has, I believe, three 911Rs, and two of them are sitting in the showroom. Go figure. Now, talking about Porsche's changes moving forward with higher prices and, ICE versus EV, when we look at the 718 being immediately replaced by EV, I don't really have any gripes with that, no qualms, because in my opinion, the four-cylinder turbocharged variants of the 718 were a huge letdown. And if I must say so, the GTS 4-liter didn't really hit the mark for me to make up and bridge that gap especially for the price point of that vehicle. Therefore, the 718 was pretty much removed from my list of wants, and the 911 took over. Fortunately for the Macan, it looks like it's going to share EV and ICE for at least 1 or 2 years before it's completely EV. I'd be really interested to see how the 2024-2025 Macan ICE is going to look, feel, and sound in comparison to what we have now. I'm not super excited about EV, especially for just that fact, the sound. If improvements could be made on sound and range, therefore, I would love to have the ability for a 5 to 600 mile range. That would be a game changer for road trips, and would probably push me closer to considering an EV. Would the Macan be my first choice? Probably not. I'm really, really digging the look and style of the Taycan, but again, the range is the biggest determining factor. However, with that being said, if I were to go out and drop 100, 150,000 on a new Porsche, odds are it would probably be an internal combustion 911 if I had my pick.